Hello everybody, this is Centralized Dave and I've decided to drop you a short video. I will be doing this every now and then. I will make you, when I see something interesting, I will make you a short video. I will drop it on my X starting today because I think this is very interesting for us to think about. However, because there is one cycle theory and it's called Steve's 5.3 theory, which is showing that the cycle top is in for Bitcoin. So first of all, what is Steve's 5.3 theory? It's a theory that is very easy to understand, and it's even, if you are paying attention, even a new market participants, I'm going to use my girlfriend as a reference. She didn't know that this is called Steve's 5.3 theory, but she just looked at the cycles and she measured the returns every cycle for Bitcoin. She measured what was the cycle bottom to the cycle top, and then she found correlations between diminishing returns of these returns. Okay, and also I have shown you this screenshot. This is a screenshot from CryptoCon. Check him out on X, and in this instance he is also explaining the Steve's 5.3 theory very well. I believe this is a tweet from all the way from 2023. And since we are doing this video, we should do our own research, and that's exactly what we're going to do now on record. We're going to measure the cycles for Bitcoin from bottom to the top, and we're going to do it a little bit differently because I believe that CryptoCon has used the Bravecoin BLX, I mean the liquid index for Bitcoin, but we are actually using an exchange. We are using as a reference history of the price of Bitcoin on Bitstamp. Bitstamp is one of the oldest exchanges in the world and it's still operational. So let's start with the cycle of 2011 and let's use the weekly close as a reference. Let's not use the weeks. So from the weekly close to the weekly close, from bottom to top of the cycle, the returns is 42,543. So I have a calculator here. We can basically do the math on record, even though I've already done it before recording the video. And let's divide these returns by the returns of the next cycle, which happened in 2014. We had a weekly close in the bottom. I'm measuring from there and I'm measuring all the way to the top, which is almost 9,000%, but not quite, like 8,982, 8,989, excuse me. And as you can see, the correlation is 4.73. My measurement was 4.75 because it just makes quite a difference if you put it just very slightly off. But let's use the reading that we've just got, so 4.73. And it also doesn't really matter to be an exactly precise by 2 decimals. And let's now measure the cycle bottom of 2019, and let's put in the cycle top again from close to close. Let's use that because the majority of the people there is a consensus that this was a cycle top in 2021, although I am in the camp of people who believe this was a cycle top, but the simplest explanation basically always wins, and the simplest explanation is that higher prices mean the cycle top. So that's why let's use this one, and we have 1,958% as the returns. So let's now divide the previous returns, which was 8,989, and let's divide it by the new returns of 1,958, and we get 4.59. Again, it depends on slight, very slight offsets when you are measuring from a very, tiny, like a few hundreds of dollars. When you start measuring it above or below the close, it makes quite a difference with this number. But again, the second decimals, they're not that much important. We could even actually just use the first decimals, because we are going to make a very rough estimation of what this cycle's returns should have been. So if you can see, this number is getting smaller, but it's not getting smaller that by so much. So you could say that maybe the next cycle should have been the next number in line should be like 4.4. Okay, so let's now divide by 4.4 the returns of the previous cycle. So 1958 slash 4.4, and we got 445%. I was again just making some measurements here, but okay, let's use just the number what we have gotten. So this should have been the returns of this current cycle, 445%. And what do we have actually? Because when we measure the cycle bottom, I mean the weekly close of the cycle bottom, and when we measure it 445%. So basically the Steve's 5.3 theory was suggesting that we are going to peak out basically between 80 to 100,000 Bitcoin, 44%. Also, the CryptoCon had quite similar measurements back in 2023. As you can see, he suggests that based on his calculations, 100,000 or 104,000. So let's just calculate what is actually the number that we've already got, because we are above it. We've already closed above it, so we have already 550% of returns of this cycle, and the previous returns were actually, let's put the measurement on the screen. Let's measure it again and let's leave it there. So 1958 divided by 546, and we get the number 3.58. So again, very slightly different number, but again, this it's not at the moment the issue for us. We just need a very rough orientation. So as you can see, it's actually quite off already, and the Steve's theory is basically breaking down. And if the Bitcoin goes any higher, then the Steve's theory actually dies completely. And that's also something that I believe is likely generally for crypto cycle theories. I believe basically they will be dying like flies. However, I want to close this video with showing you also one more argument that is also suggesting that the cycle top is in for Bitcoin, and that is this white trend line, because this is very obvious. It's very easy to see. It's the weekly close of 2017. You just connect the weekly close of 2021 from March and April. You get then the week touches of November 2021, basically touched it by weeks, and you get the week touches, but it's very close to the weekly close as well of December 2024. So this was my short video talking about Steve's 5.3 theory, which basically suggests that we are already over the top target, but as you can see also by the CryptoCon and his calculations that he's done, it's basically suggesting that the cycle top is basically in, and also it's aligned with this trend line. So I just thought it was worthwhile to have a look at and think about.